Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Voices. I want you to hear this the way you would listen to someone who knows you, not as a teacher who points from far away, but as a voice sitting next to you at the kitchen table, honest and warm. This is not another list of fancy tricks or complicated rules. It's a message for the part of you that wants to speak without fear, the part that is tired of translating every thought, the part that goes quiet in real conversations and then thinks of the perfect sentence an hour later when it no longer matters. If your chest tightens every time someone asks you a question in English, if words slip away the moment you need them, if your brain feels crowded with grammar but your mouth stays still, let me say the sentence I wish someone had told you earlier. It's not your fault. You are not slow. You are not broken. You simply learned English like a school subject instead of a living skill, and that old training, memorize, translate, correct, repeat, taught you to walk on a tightrope when what you really needed was a road. Today, we build that road, not with perfect grammar, not with long vocabulary lists, not with magic formulas, but with simple human habits that rewire how you think, hear, and speak, so English stops being a foreign object and becomes the language you live in. If you've ever gone home from an interview replaying the moment you froze, if you've ever watched your child ask you something in English and wished your answer could be effortless, if you've dreamed of traveling, working, connecting, and you know the gate opens with English, then take a breath. Your transformation starts here. First, let's name the invisible wall, the translation habit. It feels safe, even smart, but it steals your speed. You have felt the chain many times. You think in your language, you search for English words, you test them against rules, you check if they sound right, and by the time you are ready, the conversation has already moved on without you. That delay is not a personal weakness. It is the predictable side effect of a system designed for tests, not for life. In class, translation gave you control, time, and the comfort of correction. In real talk, translation gives you silence. Fluency isn't the absence of mistakes, it is the presence of flow. Children don't debate tenses, they reach for meanings. They connect words to life, not to dictionaries. And that is where we begin, rebuilding the direct bridge between experience and English so your brain no longer needs the slow middle step. Think of step one as a gentle reset of your inner camera. Your mind does not think in lines of text, it thinks in pictures, sensations, and little movies. Long before you learned any word at all, you recognized faces, light, motion, hunger, comfort. Language attached itself to that river of images. When you return to that original path, picture first, English second, you delete the need for translation. Wake in the morning and look out your window. The soft wash of light across the buildings, a scooter's distant buzz, the faint coolness on your cheek. Without saying anything in your native language, let the English rise straight from the images. Dawn, quiet street, breeze, someone jogging, coffee brewing. Let your eyes do the teaching. Tell yourself the truth of the moment in easy English without planning. Hold a cup in your hand and say cup while your fingers feel its warmth. Open the door and whisper open. Tie your shoes and say, I'm tying my shoes. This is not childish. It is human. It is the shortest route from what is real to what can be spoken, and the more often you take that route, the more your brain prefers it. I knew a mechanic named Victor who had lived with English on his to-do list for a decade. He could pass a reading quiz but avoided calls at work. One day he labeled his world switch, wrench, invoice, coolant, back order, done. He stopped translating kai nai and started naming the object he was touching. 3 months later, his boss asked where he learned to answer customers so clearly. He smiled and tapped the label gun. That small act picture to word had rebuilt his English from the hands up. Now we fold in step two, which is the heartbeat of fluency: chunks. Native speakers do not assemble sentences piece by piece. They reach for ready made phrases the way a guitarist reaches for a riff. Good for you. No worries. I'll check and let you know. Sounds about right. Got a minute? In isolation, these look simple. In motion, they are powerful because they carry rhythm, stress, and social meaning. The mind loves patterns that fit inside a breath. When you think in chunks, your brain stops hunting for every single brick and starts dropping whole tiles of language into place. Picture yourself at a cafe. The barista says, "What can I get for you?" If you're trapped in word by word building, you hesitate. I want tea. If you've trained with chunks, your mouth answers before your fear wakes up. Can I get a tea, please? If they ask for here or to go, you don't scan for rules. You reach for the chunk. To go, please. A manager asks, "Do you have an update?" And out comes, "I'm on it. I'll circle back after lunch." This is not acting, it's fluency language that rides in on muscle memory. A nurse I worked with, Amina, kept freezing during quick exchanges at the hospital. She didn't need more technical vocabulary, she needed reliable rails. She wrote down 30 phrases she heard every shift right away. That's understandable. Let me double check. Thanks for your patience. And rehearsed them in the elevator, in the corridor, under her breath, before opening a door. After 4 weeks, the pauses disappeared. Her brain stopped translating because it finally had furniture to sit on. Step three turns your whole day into a training ground. Narrate your life in English as you live it. This is not fake conversation. It is a living rehearsal that deletes hesitation. From the first minute you're awake, let English be the voice in your head and on your lips. I'm up. 5 more minutes would be nice. Where did I put my charger? Water first, then coffee. This shirt is a little wrinkled. I'll wear it anyway. As you walk, keep the stream going. Elevator's slow today. I'll take the stairs. Traffic looks heavy. I'll cut down the side street. The goal is not perfection. The goal is continuity. When you keep the river flowing, your tongue learns to trust itself, and your fear loses oxygen. People worry, but what if I say it wrong? Say it wrong loudly and keep going. The only way a sentence becomes yours is by traveling through your mouth. If you want an extra spark, stand in front of the mirror and talk to yourself for 60 seconds. Here's my plan for the morning. I'll send 2 emails, finish the slide deck, and call my aunt. I'm a bit anxious about the meeting, but I'll breathe slowly and speak clearly. If you want proof of progress, record your voice for 1 minute at night, then again the next week. You will hear the gap close between your thoughts and your sound. Diego, a quiet IT technician, began with 10 whispered sentences while brushing his teeth. Within 2 months, he was narrating his commute out loud, windows up, no audience, and in 3 months he volunteered to lead the weekly stand-up because, as he told me, "I'm already speaking for 20 minutes a day. Doing it with people is just the next step." Step 4 is for the world outside your window. Speak what you see in real time. Your eyes are the fastest shortcut to fluent sentences because they give you clear, undeniable input. When you practice see and say, you remove the mental pause that invites translation. Walking down the street, let your gaze pull the language out of you. A delivery bike just zipped past. That dog is wearing a sweater. The sky's hazy, but the light is kind. The fruit stall smells sweet. Those two are arguing gently, probably about directions. At first, you'll name objects, then actions, then opinions, then small stories. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Speak what is true right now. The present continuous will take care of itself because life is always moving in front of you. If you want a fun challenge, pick a single object at your desk and talk about it for 30 seconds without stopping. The pen is heavier than it looks. The clip is bent because I fidget with it during calls. There's a scratch near the tip. The cap always disappears under papers. I've kept this one longer than most. You are not showing off. You are building endurance. Noor, a hotel receptionist who thought she had no time to study, turned her commute into a classroom. On the bus, she described jackets, shoes, gestures, weather, shop windows, and her own boredom. One afternoon, a guest asked for a last minute restaurant recommendation. Noor answered with easy sentences and even a joke. When the guest laughed, she realized she had stopped translating without noticing. Step 5 brings sound into focus. Train your mouth every day. People underestimate how physical fluency is. Your lips, jaw, tongue, breath, and voice carry patterns your ears may understand long before your muscles can reproduce them. Shadowing, listening closely to a natural sentence, and then copying its rhythm, stress, and emotion is the simplest, strongest workout you can give yourself. Choose one line that feels useful and real. I'll get back to you in a bit. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not in the mood right now. What are you up to? Play it, pause, and imitate it 10 to 20 times. Do not recite. Replicate. Match the rise and fall, the lazy connection between words, the surprise or patience inside the tone. The first 5 repetitions will feel awkward, the next 5 will start to align. By the 15th, you'll hear yourself stepping into the melody of English. If you're brave, record 2 versions your first try and your 10th and compare. You will hear progress you cannot feel in the moment, and that proof keeps motivation alive. A project manager named Hannah began each morning with one sentence from a podcast. She said it into her phone 20 times with her coffee, then once into the air before every meeting. Colleagues started complimenting her clarity. Nothing had changed in her vocabulary, everything had changed in her delivery. Think of mouth training like tuning an instrument. If you pick up a guitar only on concert day, your fingers will betray you. If you strum for 5 minutes daily, the strings answer when you ask. Fluency is not a miracle, it is muscle memory. Step 6 is the roof above everything. Build an English environment so your progress doesn't evaporate. Too many learners treat English like a project they work on rather than a place they live. You don't need 8 hours a day. You need repeated touches that keep the language warm in your mind. Make the first minutes of your morning English minutes. Let a short video play while you stretch. Read a paragraph from a story instead of scrolling headlines in your native language. Write your to-do list in easy English. Email Sam, buy detergent, call mom, walk 20 minutes. Stick small notes on objects around your room and let those notes remind your mouth to speak their names. Switch a few apps to English so that every time you check the weather or set a timer, your eyes and brain meet the language without effort. During chores, let an interview or a podcast hum in the background. You do not need to understand every word. You are teaching your ears to swim. Choose creators who make you feel curious, calm, or brave. Align your feed so that when you open your phone, English arrives as a friend, not an assignment. At night, end the day in English with 3 lines in a journal: what you did, how you felt, what you'll try tomorrow, or a 1-minute whisper to yourself. I handled a tough call. I was impatient at noon, but kinder by evening. Tomorrow I'll start early and speak 10 lines before breakfast. A chef I know, Mira, wrote her kitchen labels in English and asked her team to call out orders in English phrases even when they were tired. It wasn't perfect, it was consistent. After 2 months, her staff joked in English while plating desserts, and the new habit held even on stressful nights. That is how environment works. Small, steady touches that make the language the air you breathe. By now, you can feel the pattern. We are not chasing complexity. We are building reliability. Think in images so your brain stops asking permission from your native language. Speak in chunks so your mouth has something solid to stand on. Narrate your day so your voice learns to move without waiting. Describe what you see so sentences emerge in real time. Train your mouth so sound becomes memory. Surround yourself with English so the spark never goes cold. None of this requires a perfect accent, expensive classes, or long, empty hours. It requires gentleness and stubbornness, a gentle acceptance of mistakes, and a stubborn commitment to keep speaking anyway. People often ask, when will I feel fluent? And I answer, the moment you stop postponing your voice. Fluency is not a certificate. It is the habit of showing up to your own speech again and again until your inner critic gets bored and leaves the room. Let me tell you a small story that belongs to all of us. There was a day when you said nothing because you were afraid of being judged. On that day, silence felt safe but heavy. Then another day arrived, smaller and easier, when you said 3 sentences to yourself while washing dishes. No one heard you. It did not look like progress from the outside, but inside, something old began to loosen. A week later, you answered the phone and didn't apologize for your English before you spoke. A month later, you ordered food without rehearsing the whole dialogue in your head. 3 months later, you told a short, simple story at work, and people listened to the meaning instead of measuring your grammar. That path is not a fantasy. It is a chain of tiny moments. When you stop translating and start trusting the direct line between your life and your language, your voice rides that line. You will still have days when you stumble, when you reach for a word and find empty air. Don't turn those seconds into a tragedy. Breathe, substitute, move on. Fluent speakers do this all the time. The difference is not that they know every word, it's that they keep going when they don't. If you want a place to start today, this hour, this minute, here it is. Look around you and name 5 things out loud, not in your head, out loud. Then say one feeling you notice in your body and one thought you have about the next hour. Pick a simple chunk you like. Maybe later, I'm on my way, I'm not sure yet, and say it 10 times with a little smile and a little rhythm. When you walk to the next room, describe what your eyes catch open window, soft light, 2 mugs, a pair of shoes under the chair, and say one opinion about something small. This room needs a plant. That song is overplayed. The air feels new after rain. Before you sleep, whisper a 3-line summary of your day in English. That's it. That's a day of living in English. Will it fix everything in 24 hours? No. Will it move you forward honestly, quickly, and permanently? Yes. And that is the only kind of progress that matters. I want to leave you with the sentence that carried me through my own slow days. You are not behind. You are in training. Behind is a story we tell ourselves when we imagine everyone else is moving faster. Training is the truth of small work multiplied by time. The voice you want is already present. It needs practice, not permission. Speak softly if you are shy. Speak messily if you are nervous. Speak slowly if you need space. Just speak. English doesn't reward the silent. It rewards the brave repetition of imperfect attempts. If anything in these words lit a small fire in you, 1 degree more courage, 1 notch less doubt, then hold it close and act before your mind talks you out of it. Name the world around you, echo the chunks you like, narrate what you're doing while you do it, borrow the melody of sentences you admire, and build a little English around your morning and your night. I'll be here every step, reminding you that this isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Your life is already happening. Let English live inside it. And if you want more guidance like this, you know where to find me. Press play tomorrow. Bring your breath and your curiosity, and we'll keep training the only instrument that matters, your voice.